video is on how to file income tax return in Form ITR2. Form ITR2 can be used by individuals or Hindu undivided families who are not eligible to file ITR1, who have income generated from salary or via pension, individuals or HUFs having income from more than one house property or income from winnings from lottery, online games or horse races. Form ITR2 can be filed by an individual who is a director of a company, an individual having an agricultural income more than Rs 5,000, having income from short-term or long-term capital gains, having income from foreign sources, or having total income of more than Rs 50 lakhs can file Form ITR2. Let us first look at the prerequisites for filing Form ITR2. You should be a registered user on the e-filing portal with an active PAN. You must pre-validate at least one bank account. You may refer to the video on My Bank Account to know more. You should have a valid mobile number linked with e-filing portal or with your Aadhaar, your bank account or your depository. To know more, you may refer to our video on how to e-verify. Before filing Form ITR2, you must collect the following required documents. You should have your PAN and Aadhaar number, Form 16 or Form 16A as applicable. You must download AIS or Form 26AS. You should have proofs of saving investments or payments. You must have the details of your bank account and home loan account statement, and you must maintain the records of capital gains or loss transactions. Form ITR2 can be filed either in the online mode on the e-filing portal or by using the offline utility. This video covers filing of Form ITR2 in online mode. The form can also be filed in offline mode using departmental Excel utility or common offline utility. The utility can be downloaded from the downloads section from the e-filing portal. The pre-filled JSON file of Form ITR2 can be downloaded from the portal and imported in the utility. To know more, you may refer to our video on filing of income tax return in offline mode. Let us now check steps for filing Form ITR2 through online mode. You must first go to the e-filing portal homepage and click Login. On the login screen, enter your user ID and password. Post login on the dashboard, click on e-file, go to income tax returns and then click on File Income Tax Return. Select the assessment year 25-26 from the drop-down menu and select the mode of filing as online and then click on Continue. In case you have a safe draft of the income tax return pending for submission, you can click on Resume Filing, else click on Start New Filing. Select the status applicable to you and then click on Continue. You are now required to choose the ITR form to proceed. You may choose ITR2 from the drop-down menu. Now you have selected the ITR applicable to you. You must note the list of documents needed and then click on Let's Get Started. You will see a pop-up message that the new tax regime is the default regime. You may compare the tax liability as per the new and the old tax regime before filing your return of income. Please note, a list of significant exemptions and deductions is not available under the new tax regime. You may click on OK to proceed. You are now required to answer, are you filing income tax return for any of the following reasons? You may select the relevant checkbox applicable to you and then click on Continue. Now you are required to select the schedules applicable to you. Please note, mandatory schedules are pre-selected. You may select the relevant schedules from Income, Deduction, Tax and Others section. Please note that the schedules and other components in ITR2 are enabled or disabled based on the information provided by the taxpayers. It is hereby requested to ensure that information provided is true, complete and accurate. The taxpayers are free to choose any additional schedules as may be applicable to them. On the schedule summary page, you are required to confirm each schedule. First click General Information Schedule and provide confirmation. General Information Schedule has 4 parts: personal information, contact, filing status and bank details. You are required to confirm each part of general information. In the filing section, filed under section 139 subsection 1, will be auto-selected. For assessment year 25-26, new tax regime is the default regime, and no will be auto-selected to the question, do you wish to exercise the option under section 115 BAC 6 for opting out of new tax regime? The default is no. For opting out, option should be exercised along with the return of income. You may select yes if you wish to opt out of the new tax regime. In the bank details section, enter the bank details, pre-validate the bank details and nominate for refund, and then click on continue. General information schedule is now confirmed. You may provide confirmation to schedule salary. You may expand the table, verify and edit the details of salary income, and then click on confirm. Scheduled salary is now confirmed. You may provide information to schedule capital gains to add capital gains income. Select the type of capital assets sold by you. Enter the details of capital asset transferred depending upon the period as long-term or short-term. Part A of scheduled capital gains contains details of short-term capital gains. You may add the details of short-term capital gains from sale of land or building or both. You may also add the details of short-term capital gains from sale of equity shares or unit of equity-oriented mutual funds or unit of a business trust on which securities transaction tax is paid. Please note, as per the provisions of Finance Act 2024, you may provide the breakup of short-term capital gains before 23rd July 2024 and after 23rd July 2024. You may now add the details of long-term capital gains from sale of land or building or both. You are required to fill up details separately for each property from A to F. You may now provide the details of long-term capital gains for residents from sale of unlisted bonds or unlisted debentures other than capital index bonds issued by the government. Please note, the details are applicable only where the transfer was before 23rd July 2024. Now add the details of capital loss on buyback of shares on or after 1st of October 2024. In case of long-term capital loss, the rate would be 12.5% and the rate would be 10% for transactions covered under Section 115 AD for non-residents. Please note, the loss can be claimed only if respective dividend income under Section 222F is offered. Now add the information about deductions claimed against capital gains. In Table E, you are required to give the details of set-off of current year capital losses with current year capital gains. In Table F, you may provide quarterly breakup of income from capital gains. Scheduled capital gains is now confirmed. Click on Schedule 112A to add the details of long-term capital gains under Section 112A on specified securities. Provide the details of long-term capital gains on specified securities and then click on confirm. You may also download the CSV template, prepare the schedule and then upload the CSV. In case you wish to provide the breakup values, click on add another and then click on confirm. When you click on add another, you are required to provide the complete details of long-term capital gain on specified securities. Schedule 112A is now confirmed. Now provide confirmation on schedule income from other sources. You are required to add income from other sources. Schedule income from other sources is now confirmed. Now provide confirmation on schedule CYLA to provide the details of income after set-off of current year losses. You are required to provide the details of income after setting off current year losses and then click on confirm. Schedule CYLA is now confirmed. Now provide confirmation on schedule BFLA to provide the details of past year losses to be brought forward or current year losses to be carried forward. Check the details and then click on compute set off. Schedule BFLA is now confirmed. Now provide confirmation on schedule CFL to provide details of losses to be carried forward to future years. You may check the details of losses to be carried forward to future years and then click on compute set off. Schedule CFL is now confirmed. Now provide confirmation to schedule special income. Provide the details of income chargeable to tax at special rates. Schedule special income is now confirmed. Now confirm schedule 6A. Schedule 6A contains deductions under Chapter 6A. Claim the applicable deductions by clicking on Add Another and then click on Confirm. Please note, default regime is new tax regime. If you have not opted for old tax regime, only deductions under Section 80CCD2, that is employer's contribution to Tier 1 NPS account, and Section 80CCH, that is amount deposited in Agniveer Corpus Fund, will be enabled. For some other deductions, there are separate tabs like deduction under Section 80C, 80G, 80D, 80E, 80EEA, 80DD, which are applicable in the old tax regime. You can click on the applicable tabs and then provide the details and then click on Confirm. After claiming Schedule 6A deductions, if you want to claim other Chapter 6A deductions, you can select the relevant schedule in the deduction category. Deduction schedule selected will reflect in the ITR summary. You can fill the schedule one by one. You are required to furnish the details in respective deductions. Please note, default regime is the new tax regime. If you have not opted for old tax regime, only deductions under Section 80CCD2 and Section 80CCH will be enabled. You can also claim the 80C deduction by selecting the schedule. You are required to provide amount eligible for deduction under Section 80C and policy number or document identification number, and then click on Confirm. You can also claim 80DD deduction in the old tax regime. Please note, if you are claiming deduction under Section 80DD or Section 80U, it is mandatory to file Form 10IA before filing the return of income. You can claim the deduction under Section 80U in the old tax regime by providing the details and filing Form 10IA. Schedule 6A and other deductions tab are now confirmed. Now confirm Schedule AMT and Schedule AMTC. In Schedule AMT, you are required to provide details of computation of tax credit under Section 115JC if applicable, and then click on Confirm. In Schedule AMTC, you are required to provide the details of tax credit under Section 115JD if applicable, and then click on Confirm. Schedule AMT and Schedule AMTC are now confirmed. Now confirm Part B, Total Income. In Part B, Computation of Total Income, you can verify the computation of total income. Schedule Total Income is now confirmed. Now confirm Part B, Computation of Tax on Total Income, Part B, TTI. To know more on payment of tax liability, you may refer to our video on ePay tax service. Click on Schedule Tax Paid to confirm the details of tax deducted at source from salary, tax collected at source, payments of self-assessment tax and advance tax. You can verify the challan details of self-assessment tax and advance tax. You can click on Add Details to add any challan details and then click on Confirm. If you decide to pay the tax liability later, you may click on Pay Later. You can still file the return, but it is recommended that you pay now. Select the checkbox and click Proceed to Validation. Once the internal validations are successful, click on Preview. Preview the return and then click on Proceed to Validation. Please note, validation errors, if any, are hyperlinked. Click on Hyperlink and remove the errors. Once upload level validation is successful, click on Proceed to Verification. Complete your verification by selecting the verification option. Post verification, you will receive a success message that you have successfully filed and verified your return. Filing of ITR 2 is very easy. To know more, you may visit our website www.incometax.gov.in or contact our helpline numbers.